Give me a moment, y'all. 10. There we go. 15:10. So right there, content starts at 15:10, so we can skip all the commercials and everything. There's a reason why I do that, y'all. Because for one, I'm like use the restroom before the show and all that stuff. But number two, you need again. Number three, there's anticipation to what we do over here. So with that being said, let's get to doing what we do over here. Trigger warning for everybody with this first destination. All right. So warning, this report contains details of SA. Here we go. This is Pitor. He lives in Poland with his wife, who is in her 40s. We're not showing you his face or his real name. We can show you the messages he sent us. So going back up. Hello, is anyone awake? I managed to record a clip once when I had my last two grape pills. My wife doesn't even know that I recorded it. But what we can show you is the messages he sent us. What he says he is doing to his wife is a crime. Posing as a user, we found him in a private group, one of many on the messaging app Telegram. Now, for those of you who don't know about Telegram, Telegram has been through the ringer for allowing the transference of CP. Okay, so it's been under investigation for a long time, and a lot of other things with Telegram as well. But let's continue. So as you can see, who has experienced drugging their wives? Been wanting to do this to my missus. Drug her. Blank dose. Let's continue. At any hour, men from around the world gather on the Z group to swap advice on drugging and then filming SA of their partners while unconscious. Let me read that two more times for y'all. At any hour, men from around the world gathered on the Z app to swap advice on drugging and then filming the sexual assault of their partners while unconscious. At any hour, men from around the world gather on the Z app, Z group rather, to swap advice on drugging and then filming the SA of their partners while unconscious. Now, I saw this on Facebook first. I'm going to pull up the content creator that did this. Okay, give me a moment, y'all. Shout out to Nikki Vink. I'm about to pull her up right now so you guys can see this. Because when I saw this, I'm just like, ain't no way in hell that we're not going to do the show this morning and not discuss this. Like I said, it's very easy to be a one-trick pony and talk about, Carissa Shields and Krishan Rock and, anything and everything in between, right? In the same token, we also need to be aware of things like this as well. And I'm not saying if you cover Carissa Shields or Blueface or anything like that that you're worthless, that you're not giving anything, and that you're just existing. I'm not saying that, right? But sometimes we avoid heavy conversations because we don't want to understand the weight of them. And when it gets to our front doorstep, then what do we do, right? So, listen. Words of Uncle Ben from Spider-Man: with great power comes great responsibility. Just give me a moment here as I pull it up. So this is where I first saw it right here. Shout out to Nikki Fink. Okay, shout out to her. As it pulls up here. $62 million. Join the site, join the website to learn how to grape their wives and partners. And also, I want to give a shout out to this person as well. This is where I saw it. The Korean vegan right here as well. So shout out to these two ladies here for doing their good work on reporting on this. Let's get back to this report from CNN. And this is why journalism is so important. And I get so immediately sent through there mentally when people say that, you know, journalists are this, that, and the third. Is like, no, this is why we need journalism. Because journalists are doing the groundwork of reporting on the things that we don't know about, so we can be better from the information. That's what journalism is supposed to be about. My God, give me a moment, y'all. Stop sharing. Like I said, shout out to, once again, the Korean vegan and Mickey Vink. Let's get back to CNN here. I gave my partner GM additional kick tasting the meds. Now, once you see these hashtags, hashtag passed out, hashtag I check. Those are just two hashtags there. Let's continue. Right here. The abuse shared via video and pictures in this group. The abuse rather shared via video and pictures in this group of nearly 1,000 users was treated as a commodity. Y'all know I'll always try to make sure that with every tour that we do, I try to make sure there's sunshine and rainbows. We use Sylvester Stallone's words from Rocky. But sometimes there's going to be some rain and some lightning, and this is one of those times. So like I said, if I'm going slow this morning, I want you to understand the weight, the magnitude, and the impact of this destination. That's why I made it the first destination this morning. I was not going to wait till the end of this tour to do it. I was going to do it right at the top because it deserves that much time. And we might be here for an hour on because it deserves that much attention. How much are you willing to pay to watch me how much are you willing to pay to watch me fuck my wife while she sleeps? That's one of the text messages in this group. But for survivors, including 3 who spoke with CNN for this story, the consequences are devastating. A CNN Ask Equals investigation exposing a global, and I'm only saying this because it's in the, I'm frozen, y'all give me a moment, there we go. I'm only saying this, YouTube, because it is in the title. Okay. So I am not promoting this. I don't condone it. It's wrong. If you got to do this, you deserve to be disrespectfully handled for the rest of your fucking life. But this is the power of YouTube. The original slogan of YouTube is broadcast yourself. And we need to be able to broadcast stuff like this. And not to mention, too, there are other videos talking about this. So let's get into it. A CNN as equals investigation exposing a global rape academy. Exposing a global rape academy. It's exposing rather a global rape academy. Here we go, y'all. In shocking group chats, men encourage one another to drug and assault their wives and swap tips on how to get away with it. I want to give credit to the people here. Shout out to Shaska Van Dorm, Kara Fox, Nima Kennedy, Eleanor Stubbs, and Margot Shakan. Thank all 5 of you for the great work that you have done with this. And I'm trying to sort out, I'm sorry. It's not what I want to do. But, might have to just refresh it. I'll give it a moment. There we go. Okay. Shout out to each and every single one of you. Hold on, let me refresh it. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second. And let me refresh it. How is this doing this to me this morning? Give me a moment, y'all. Okay. Refresh. Okay, there we go. Let me share it again. Because I want to give these journalists their credit. And CNN, thank you for all the work that y'all do. I know that people say that CNN and MSNBC and all the left-wing organizations is this, that, the third. But as we know, there was a man named Roger Ailes that graped his on-air talent. And I would not be surprised if the president of the United States, who graped a 13-year-old girl, judged their vulvas and tightness of their portals, and forced young women to perform fellatio on him along with Eric and 47 Jr., I would not be surprised if they were a part of that group on Telegram. Yeah, I said that shit. Not to mention, too, the president said, and I quote, this, give me a moment. Give me a moment now. Since we're going here, and I don't have to make anything up to have a platform now. I really don't. That's what I'm looking for. Give me one moment, y'all. Give me a moment. Listen to this.
Indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm. It's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm. It's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm. It's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper.
That was the President of the United States saying exactly what he just said. Let's get back to our CNN story here this morning. Let's continue. Like I said, shout out to Skya Van Doorn, Kara Fox, Nima Kennedy, Eleanor Stubbs, and Marco Strahan. Thank you, Five and CNN. Thank y'all for being that organization to put out this story. This story is the final part of CNN As Equals series on gender equality. For more information about how this series was funded and more, check out our frequently asked questions. The world was confronted by this form of internet-enabled abuse in 2024 during the mass rape and drugging trial of Dominique Perricot and 50 other men in southern France. It was on a so-called dating site in a chat room called Without Her Knowledge that Perricot was able to connect with dozens of other men to instigate rapes of his then wife, Giselle. While drugged unconscious by him, there's a reason why I'm going slow with this story, y'all. This destination, rather. She was raped over 200 times by 70 men. She was raped over 200 times by 70 men. She was raped over 200 times by 70 men, not all of whom could be tracked down by police. The Perricot case briefly shined a spotlight on this dark corner of the internet. While Coco and the website involved was shut down, public attention moved elsewhere. This behavior did not disappear. A months-long CNN As Equals investigation has uncovered a hidden online world where the commodification and amplification of sexual violence against women is flourishing. So these three survivors right here have spoken to CNN. First of all, I just want to say shout out to those three survivors. I send light, love, and prayers to each and every single one of you. To all the victims that were shared in this group, I pray nothing but love, grace, and space to you. And Telegram needs to be shut the fuck down immediately. Just like Roblox deserves to be shut the fuck down immediately. Shout out to Schlep. Shout out to Schlep. Shout out to Schlep and all the work that he has done and everybody in that sector has done to protect children on the internet. Shout out to y'all. There was a reason why I wanted to do this first, because I know how I get. And my mom said that, Bray, all the cussing you do, you don't have to go there. I want to make your point. Sometimes stories like this need some cussing in it. Because if we don't scream, we don't shout, we don't let it out, then this behavior continues. And I know my mom is just trying to look out for her son, but this should not be happening to any woman, to any man, to any child. Babies, too. Yeah, there are people doing that to babies, and to animals, and to everything in between. Try to get through this without being profanity laced. But if I do, I have a good motherfucking damn reason to do it. Let's continue. One adult site called motherless.com is home to more than 20,000 videos of so-called sleep content uploaded by users with hundreds of thousands of views. The website, which has had more than 62 million visits in February alone, and whose core audience is in the United States, describes itself as a moral-free file host where anything legal is hosted forever. The legality of some of this material is in serious doubt. The so-called sleep content is categorized using descriptive tags such as passed out, hashtag eye check. So that is right there. That's one of the images, just showing that. Yeah. In these videos, men film themselves lifting the closed eyelids of women to show that they are sleeping or sedated, with some eye check videos surpassing 50,000 views. Inside the motherless sleep community, first reported on by German investigative journalists Isabel Beer and Isabel Stroff, members trade advice on how to drug their partners. On the Zzz chat group, which a motherless user had linked to, and where we first meet Pure, they do the same. CNN is not providing the names and doses of the specific medicines the user said they employ. The reason why they are doing that is because although myself, you, and in the words of legendary Alpha MC, our virtual travelers, our virtual tourists, our virtual what is the words of legendary Alpha MC, the virtual travelers, the virtual tourists, the virtual tour family, although we over here and others of us are utilizing this as a teaching tool. And I remember some of that Dr. Phil said. I know he's a quack in some areas, but when it was the Aspire initiative that Robin McGraw created, and she created the Aspire app, they did not show what the app looked like because abusers could have been watching the Dr. Phil show, and they would have shown that app, then the abuser could have taken the phone and did what they need to do to delete the phone and everything else. So shout out to CNN for being proactive to recognize that even though that information is very valuable, and very essentially necessary to highlight the weight, the magnitude, and the ferocity of this story, there are people out there who are abusing women, men, children, babies, and everything in between, including animals, right from this space right here, right now, as we're speaking. So the fact that they did add those doses and the names of the medications, that way more abuse won't be able to happen. Shout out to CNN for being proactive with that. Let's get back to it here. We are live on tour. We're talking about a group on Telegram called the Zzz group, and they have shared videos and photos and audio as well, probably, of drugging and raping women. It has had over 1,000 members, and it was on Telegram, which has also been through an investigation for the transference of CP, and many other crimes. Let's continue. Oh, okay. User 1, been wanting to do this to my missus for ages. I can get blank, but honestly, shit scared of overdose. That's user 1. User 2, always start low. You're thinking long game. So if first time ain't close, up the dose. That's what user 2 said. User 3, blank milligrams or I think that's milligrams, in a milkshake. She felt nauseous, so I gave her a tablet of idiom was blank. Did blank her well, but she was not out enough and had no more blank on me. One motherless user claimed to be running a business selling and dispatching sleeping liquids to any address in the world. The man, who said he was based in Krua, a tiny Spanish enclave on the North African coast, said on his Telegram account that it would cost 150 euros, approximately $175 US converted, for a bottle of the liquid that he said was tasteless and odorless. Your wife won't feel anything and won't remember anything, he said. So there are packages right there, and multiple receipts right here. So I'm guessing you go into the group and then you are pulled up to this here from royalmail.com. And by the way, I just want to say this. The United States Postal Service has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. They probably don't even know the magnitude of this. Okay. Just wanted to say that. And probably Royal Mail has nothing to do with this as well. So just wanted to say that. While the platforms vary inside such groups, video is king. Some users advertise live streams showing the abuse of drugged women in real time for $20 per viewer, with cryptocurrency the preferred means of payment. CNN, how were your streams going? Making any money? User, yeah, it went well that night. 3 guys bought, and I streamed my unconscious wife to them. CNN, and did they direct you? User, they told me what to do, and I did it. Another user who said he was based in West Africa shared a clip from a previous live stream. He said he done to entice us to his next. And a woman who said was his sleeping wife could be heard snoring, and then climbs on top of her, and then the clip ends. In Poland, the woman Pior said was his wife also appears to be unaware of what is happening to her. Pior, I still have a few photos, but it's hard for me to put her to sleep. Many of these groups operate shielded by the anonymity of the internet. They also find a sense of community and perverse camaraderie as they normalize abuse. For months, Pior spoke openly with us and even shared what he said was his address, rather. Pior, 2 sleeping tablets should be enough, plus some drinks. Even 1 is enough if there's more alcohol. CNN, does your wife suspect anything? Pior, for now, I'm hiding everything well, but I have to be careful. But when it came to meeting face to face, he resisted. We wanted to confirm he was who he said he was, so we traveled to his hometown in Poland. CNN found Pior and his wife at a local restaurant. Uncertain how he might react and unwilling to put her in danger, we chose not to confront him, instead reaching out to police about our findings. Pior is just one actor in a vast global network, his wife likely among many unaware victims, but some survivors know. Um, you know, I talk about, broadcast journalism a lot on this channel. And I remember asking Thor Wasbine, I'm going to come on the big screen for this. I remember asking Thor Wasbine, a good friend and mentor of mine. He was over the broadcast journalism program at Kent State University. He's transferred on to another college. I recently reconnected with him, but I remember a event that we had, and I asked a question that it really boggled my mind. Of journalists know how to be on the ground, do the research, verify everything in between. We know how to broadcast the totality of the information as we have it. But how do we, as journalists, as consumers of information, and as citizens of society, be about the aftermath of a cultural event? And I can tell you that Thor was he was stunned in his stillness, because that's a question that I don't think we think about a lot. Just because the Maui fires are over doesn't mean that they're still not rebuilding. New Orleans has been still rebuilding after Hurricane Katrina for how many years? The fires that have happened in California, right? And so the reason why I'm tearing up is because even though CNN, MSNBC, fake news, I'm sorry, Fox News, I meant to play out my tongue and be like, slip of the tongue. Even though Fox News and all these other news organizations, they are reporting on stories 24/7. It is a very heavy weight, but a profound responsibility to be the one of few chosen to be able to be a recorder of history. But when it gets so serious that you talk to this person over chat, over text, over whatever platform, and you want to do the right thing and interview him to gain the full context, conjecture, and connection of the story, but you don't know how he will react with his wife, I can only imagine the heavy hearts that those 5 journalists in CNN had, and recognizing if they make a move, he could end his wife's life potentially that night. That's how real this is. We're almost close to an hour on this because it deserves a full hour on this. Okay. Oh, all right. Here we go. But he's your husband. When Zoe Watts learned that her husband of 16 years has been crushing her son's sleep medicine into her tea and raping her while she was passed out, it shattered her world. Let me read that 2 more times. When Zoe Watts learned that her husband of 16 years, almost 2 decades, had been crushing her son's sleeping medicine into her tea and raping her while she passed out, it shattered her world. When Zoe Watts learned that her husband of 16 years had been crushing her son's sleeping medicine into her tea and raping her while she was passed out, it shattered her world. We worry about who's coming behind us walking down the street, or who's even friending us on Facebook. We worry about going to our car late at night in a car park. But we don't worry about who you lie next to. I didn't realize that I had to, I said. her then husband's confession rather, not confession, not confection. Sorry, confection is desserts, sweets and treats and stuff. But confession came on an otherwise ordinary Sunday in 2018, after the couple, who share 4 children, had returned from church. He reeled off a list of his wrongdoings as if it was, a shopping list, Watts said, speaking to CNN at her house in Devon, England. He told her the abuse had been going on for years. He source said, "I've been using our son's sleeping medication to put in your last cup of tea at night, to tie you down, take photographs, and grape you." The admission left Watts questioning all their intimate moments. "At the end of a very busy day, I was just grateful I had a cup of tea before I went to bed, because I was so tired I didn't have to make it," she said, adding, "You don't expect anything other than innocence to come from your partner." So there is Zoe Watts. That is her story there. Concerned about her children and still grappling with what happened to her, she initially kept it a secret. The internal struggle eventually took a toll on her health. After a serious panic attack, Watts told her sister. Then their mother called the police. I just want you to know that if you have a family and someone has done this to you, I've said this statement many times before. There's a statement called "family is police." Where is he at? Shut your fucking ass up. Where's he at? All right, listen. Meet up spot. What we need to grab. Family, roll out. We're going to be right back. That's what real families do. Believe you me. Just because you haven't heard about it, don't mean it don't happen. But also, too, after severe panic attack, that's probably not the best thing to do to a family member. You have every right to do it, but being able to leave a paper trail is helpful. And I know it's difficult for us because, as we have seen with police and Black people, we've seen, Sandra Bland, we've seen Sonia Massey, right? We've seen George Floyd, and countless of others. We've seen what ICE has done by deleting a white man and a white woman in the middle of the day. There was just the thing just now that I saw before getting on tour of all of you, that 2 ICE agents waved pals in 2 people's faces. Freely, by the way, I might add. So who do you trust when you feel like no one wants you? Who do you trust when you feel like no one wants you? Who do you trust when you feel like nobody wants you around? Let's continue. Give me a moment, y'all. Okay. After a serious panic attack, Watts told her sister, then their mother called the police. While she believes pressing charges was the right decision at the time, it was agonizing. A 4-year legal process saw her children become targets for bullying at school and left her social network all but devastated. Let me just say this to all of the children who bullied those kids: screw all of y'all. And I hope your parents disrespectfully handled y'all. If they did not, they are just as complicit. Okay. All right, moving on. Watts said one of the many difficult aspects of her ordeal has been confronting people's assumptions about abuse within a marriage, even though she recognizes that they are rooted in misinformation and unconscious bias. I've had people say, "Yeah, but he's your husband," or but you weren't awake, so it's not the same thing as being taken down an alleyway, is it? Her ex-husband is serving an 11-year sentence for rape, sexual assault by penetration, and drugging. And I hope they're taking care of his ass in jail. Disrespectfully. With no lube. Hope the mouth is fucked up, tired, and broken. I hope it hurts like hell when he's gotta use the restroom. From the back or the front. Watts still struggles to use the word rape to describe what happened to her. It is too painful. There is a shame and a guilt that comes with that. Oh, maybe I should have known, or I can't believe I didn't realize. Why did I connect those dots? He was trying to change my reality. The enduring stigma is exactly what Giselle Peicot has sought to challenge on the international stage, telling the world at her former husband's trial that shame must change sides. In the town of Wigan, northwest England, Amanda Stanhope, who too was raped by her ex-partner, says Giselle's strength inspired her to speak out. She broke, the silence and shame. If she can do it, then so can I. Stanhope said. She now posts videos on social media to spread awareness about this type of abuse, encouraging women to trust their instincts. Over a 5-year period, Stanhope said that she would often fall asleep without remembering how, and wake up to bruises on her body, in different clothes, with a towel under her, without any memory as to why. After waking up a few times to her partner violently raping her, Stanhope knew something was wrong and asked him to stop. Instead, Stanhope said she was gaslit. He would then turn on me and say, "Well, you're on too much medication. You must be imagining it. That didn't happen. You're mental. You're crazy," she said. So even though I felt 100% sure that something had happened, he was trying to change my reality, saying that it had happened, even though the physical signs were there. With the support of her brother, Stanhope eventually went to police. Her former partner was charged with rape and sexual assault. He took his own life before the case went to court. And I hope that God sent him on the fastest elevator to hell. And I hope there was extra gas. How can I put it? I hope there was gasoline draws on with hot charcoal lined inside the underwear. Sharing her story is a part of Stanhope's healing process, but the trauma has unequivocally changed her outlook. I see everyone as a potential predator, Stanhope said, adding, "It took my innocence for people away." That is Amanda Stanhope's story right there. Survivor Valentina, a mother of two who lives in northern Italy, who has CNN not to use her real name, she said, too, has a hard time trusting anyone. I can't convene of the fact that a woman could be treated like slaughterhouse meat, rather. Because in the end, that's what I was, Valentina said, reflecting on the horror of discovering videos that her husband of 20 years had filmed, showing him abusing her after he drugged her with alcohol and sedatives. I was lucky to find the videos because truly it would have been a bit difficult to believe because I had no marks. She added, Valentina doesn't remember the abuse, but it left psychological scars. No matter how much you try to brush it off, it's always right there beside you. The experience you had, she said, adding that it just takes a bed, a camera, and a different scent to trigger her. She is seeing a psychologist to help her move through the trauma, but still feels fresh. As much as I might be happy, smiling on the outside, then I come home. So this is the roof. This is the foundation. Home. I still have to deal making friends with my nightmares, which was always just behind the door, she said. In 2021, Valentina's former husband was sentenced to 8 years in prison for multiple aggravated sexual assaults. Same thing for the first husband to happen to this one, too. Or we could just send Lorena Bobbitt to the prison and just take care of them, okay? We could do that, too. Although I think that was a little extreme for what she did, okay? If you don't know Lorena Bobbitt, look up your history, okay? All right. And I know Betty Broderick would definitely be teaming up with Lorena Bobbitt to handle these men, too. So listen, years later, she is still struggling to understand his motivation. Like Dominique Perricott in PR, Valentina said her husband was spending lots of time online, possibly seeking a self-education in rape. I was branded for life with a hot iron. I was branded for life with a hot iron. I was branded for life with a hot iron. Some forms of adult content, or adultography, rather, to put respectfully, have long normalized violence against women as entertainment with algorithms that favor extreme content, further pushing exploitative material into the mainstream, experts say. Claire McGlynn, a law professor at Durham University and an expert on violence against women and girls, told CNN that the growing presence of voyeuristic material on mainstream adult sites glorifies abusive behaviors both on and offline. It's a problem that many men and many people in society are taking seriously enough, she said. For users within the online sleep on community, the thrill of abuse is not only in the act itself, but in the collective dynamics surrounding it, said Annabelle Montague, a psychologist who assessed half of the men convicted in the Pelicott trial, including Dominique, who organized the crimes. Within these sites, there's also this notion of almost brotherhood. She said, adding that participants find themselves creating bonds that reinforce their narcissistic needs, rather. Sandrine Jousseau, a French lawmaker who, after being drugged by a former French senator, sounds like somebody the rest of the country elected to be president of the United States. Back to that confession real quick, if you indulge me real quick.
Indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm. It's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper.
Let's continue. Shout out to the 4 people that were just here. Glad to have you here. We are live on tour. We've been talking about the Zzz group, rather, that has been on Telegram with over 1,000 members sending video, photos, and audio of them drugging and raping their wives. And there is a Grape Academy where 62 million men visited that online academy to learn how to do that to their wives and their partners. That is where we are at 12:08 p.m. on the East Coast, 11:08 down south. Glad to have all of you here. We are live on tour. Sandrine Josino, a French lawmaker who, after being drugged by a former French senator, has campaigned to raise awareness about drug facilitated sexual abuse. DFSA calls the group Schools of Violence. I would even call them a online Grape Academy where every subject is taught. There are all the subjects and disciplines needed to become a good rapist or sexual predator, she said. Z's group member, or group user rather, group member and group user, to put disrespect onto this person's existence. I've hoped I've helped in some way, my friend. Today and tomorrow are the best days to make it happen. Good luck to everyone. Meanwhile, the landscape of drug-facilitated assault is continuing to evolve, with perpetrators pivoting to more readily available prescription medicines that act quickly and leave little trace in the body compared to the date rape drugs of the past, making it harder for such cases to make their way to trial. U.S.-based sleep specialist Michael Kramer-Born told CNN, it's difficult rather to know how widespread drug-facilitated sexual assault DSFA is, as reliable data is limited. Across Europe, most criminal justice systems either lack specific monitoring systems for DFSA or do not include it as a separate category in official crime statistics, meaning there's no fully comparable Europe-wide or European-wide data set on such assaults. This is a topic where reliable, specific data or data is scarce by design. A World Health Organization spokesperson, or WHO, told CNN, adding that there are no accurate assessments of this type of abuse due to how underreported it is. I remember a map that I saw of child sex trafficking, and it looked like a big red fucking city. You'll get just goosebumps on you. It looked like typopia, where you see like many holes, and that is a real fear too. It was on that level. You know what I mean? And like I said, I know YouTube has evolved their rules to be able to discuss things like this in a educational manner. And that's exactly the way I'm taking this. There is no other way to bring this to you but through a educational lens, perspective, and in commentary form to you. Like I said, this is probably one of the, if not the hardest tour I have ever done in 3 years. But I am so good with spending an hour on this topic alone because it deserves to be spent. This topic deserves to be spent for this amount of time. Let's continue. Many go underreported because victims feel embarrassment, guilt, or perceived responsibility, or because they have limited memory of the assault. The spokesperson said low reporting is further compounded by a lack of training for both hospital staff and police in recognizing victims of DFSA, experts say. In England and Wales, the jurisdiction in which survivors Watts and Stanhope live, 43% of recorded sexual assaults involved a partner or an ex-partner, according to March 2025 data, marking a minor decrease from 45% 5 years ago. The proportion of victims recorded as having been assaulted while unconscious or asleep has risen to 23% from 21% over the last decade. Conviction rates for sexual offenses across Europe, as in the United States, remain low. This comes as no surprise to Stanhope. She says she was shocked by the initial police response to a video that showed her former partner sexually assaulting her while she was unconscious. I thought, there's the evidence, and the police said to me, well, we can't use that. That isn't clear evidence because it looks like you're pretending to be asleep. And I thought, there's the evidence, and the police said to me, well, we can't use that. That isn't clear evidence because it looks like you're pretending to be asleep. I thought, here's the evidence, and the police said to me, well, we can't use that. That isn't clear evidence because it looks like you're pretending to be asleep. Police eventually charged Stanhope's former partner, but her experience underscores why so many victims of domestic abuse do not report these crimes to the public trial. A defense used by several of Giselle's rapists was that they believed it was a part of a consensual sex game. Watts told CNN that her former partner presented a similar explanation. He said he thought I wanted me to find myself waking up with him having sex with me, like I asked him for it, she said. McGlynn, law professor, told CNN that while the law, at least in the United Kingdom, is generally well equipped to cover the range of criminal offenses committed by men who drug and rape their partners, the global online phenomenon persists because of reluctance from governments to go after what she sees as the heart of the problem, the online platforms themselves. During the course of CNN's investigation, the Zzz group was taken off the messaging platform Telegram. Telegram did not respond directly to CNN's questions about the Zzz group, but in a statement to CNN following publication of this report, it said that content that encourages sexual violence is explicitly forbidden by its terms of service and is removed whenever discovered. Moderators empowered with custom artificial intelligence tools proactively monitor public parts of the app, which means there are private parts of the app, and accepts reports in order to ban accounts breaching our terms of service and removing millions of pieces of harmful content each day. That includes content that calls for sexual violence, it said. And while the website being used by the rapist in the Pelcom case, Coco, was taken offline, other sites are springing up. The Coco founder was charged with operating a platform that allegedly enabled a wide range of serious crimes, including sexual exploitation, drug trafficking, and financial crimes. He has denied the accusations and is awaiting trial. Last year, the United Kingdom communications service regulator Ofcom investigated motherless.com, not for the site's content, but for its parent company, the Luxembourg-registered Kick Online Entertainment SA, allegedly failing to complete a suitable and sufficient legal content risk assessment. The investigation was closed after the company provided the necessary paperwork, the regulator said. Ofcom opened a sequential investigation into whether Kick Online Entertainment SA had put age checks in place to protect children from adultography. In February 2016, the company Motherless did not respond to CNN's request for comment. I want to see something real quick. Kick Online Entertainment SA. Okay, so that's not that Kick. Okay, that's a different Kick. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay, sorry. Ofcom opened a sequential investigation into whether Kick Online Entertainment SA had put age checks in place to protect children from adultography, and in February 2026, found the company Motherless did not respond to CNN request for comment. Ofcom told CNN its job was not to tell platforms what specific content to take down, and that the responsibility is on the platforms to decide whether content is illegal. Motherless has avoided being targeted for the type of content posted on its site due to U.S. safe harbor protections that largely shield platform owners from direct liability for their users' uploads. This creates spaces where men like Pelcott can operate behind a veil of anonymity. Their abuse is too often invisible, despite being exploited in plain sight. While it's unclear what's next for Pierre, the online communities he inhabit live on. Update: in early April, Polish authorities arrested a man on charges of aggravated rape. The district prosecutor's office in Lublin declined to officially confirm his identity. Polish media outlets have identified the man arrested as PR, the man who authorities said had committed the charges. The man who authorities said had admitted to the charges against him, has remained in custody. He could face 3 to 20 years in prison if convicted, the prosecutor's office said. I'm going to finish reading all this because everything in this article is very important. Here's what to know about drug facilitated SA. Drugging someone to rape or sexually assault them is called drug facilitated SA, sexual assault DFSA. Propofol, GHB, and chloral hydrate are examples of drugs more typically associated with drug facilitated sexual assault and date rape. U.S.-based sleep specialist Michael Kramer-Boren told CNN propofol and GHB fall within the benzoline family. Excuse me if I'm butchering that. A group of sedative hypnotic depressants, as these drugs are highly controlled in the United States. Kramer-Boren said that there has been a pivot towards people using alternative drugs for date rape purposes. One drug he highlighted is Sopofen, a prescription sedative hypnotic known for its rapid onset, prescribed to people struggling with insomnia. As Sopofen, commonly known in the United States as Ambien, falls outside of the benzocaine family, it is often more readily available, but if misuse can be nefarious, Kramer-Bowen said. What are the signs of being drugged? The side effects of GHB and propofol resemble those of being heavily intoxicated, including weakness, fatigue, slurred speech, loss of motor coordination, and visual impairment, and can begin within 15 to 30 minutes of consumption, according to Stanford University. Urine testing for propofol can detect its presence up to 5 days after administration, while GHB can stay in the system for up to 12 hours, up to 12 hours, up to 12 hours, up to 12 hours. Sopofen stays in the system for a shorter time, usually exiting within 7 to 8 hours, within 7 to 8 hours, within 7 to 8 hours, within 7 to 8 hours. While active, possible side effects include instability, unsteadiness, drowsiness, dizziness, and headaches, according to Kramer-Bowen. He warned that the risks associated with Sopofen are not taken seriously enough, despite the fact it carries a black box label, the most serious warning placed on FDA, Food and Drug Administration approved prescription drugs in the United States. All 3 drugs can trigger memory loss amnesia, he said. All 3 drugs can trigger memory loss amnesia, he said. All 3 drugs can trigger memory loss amnesia. He said, what should you do if you think you've been drugged? If you think you have been drugged or spiked, seek help immediately. Tell a trusted person and go to the hospital. Call emergency services. By the way, the Aspire app that Robert McGraw made is free. It's in the Google Play Store and the Google App Store. You download that. It'll look like news, but there's a go button. You hit that, sends out alert to 3 people that you trust, respect, and you care about, and they care about you, vice versa. And many more other apps and platforms that are great resources, tools, and pathways for you to get to where you need to be for freedom. There's even a particular shot that you can order, right? And if they order that type of shot, then the bartender can know to pick up an Uber or call police or what have you, right? like I said, it's important to be an informed citizen because you never know how you can be a solution later on down the line, whether for yourself or for others. Report to the police as soon as possible. This is going back to what should you do if you think you've been drugged. Report to the police as soon as possible, as many date-rape drugs leave the body within the 12 to 72 hour time frame. The 72-hour time frame. Avoid drinking alcohol, and if possible, keep the suspected substance or spiked drink for testing. Help is available for help in the United States. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-4673. That's 1-800-656-4673. That's 1-800-656-4673. Or chat 24/7 on RAINN, RAINN.org. That's RAINN.org. That's RAINN.org. Internationally, a worldwide list of directories is provided by United Nations Women with international agencies on the Pixel Project. Have you been directly affected by the topics discussed in this report? Click here to share your experiences. Like I said, wonderful job. Let me mention everybody here because everybody deserves their credit. Reporters, Shakska Bardun, Mika Kennedy, and Kara Fox. Writer Kara Fox. Contributors Carlotta Darto, Gabrielle Mongo, Lisa Corabas, Elena Balder, Kim, and Antonia Morrison. Please forgive me for butchering your name. It is not on purpose. I would just want y'all to get y'all credit because y'all did a great motherfucking ass job. Designer Eleanor Stubbs, developer Marco Chan, illustrator Angie Tricuri, commissioning editor Lyden Oxhofer, story editor Laura Smith, visual editor Enique Peterson, video editors Mark Barron, Nick Blott, senior video director Nicole Barnscher, senior video producer Mike Kerber, and photojournalist Mark Esper. So shout out to each and every single one of you. Like I said, I wanted to spend a full hour on that. I'm glad we did. So if you don't know my thoughts about this destination by now, if you are about that energy, if you support that, if you make way for that, get from the fuck around me. Get from the fuck around my family, my friends, my supporters, here, there, and anywhere I care about somebody. Get from the fuck around them. And get from the fuck around society and get from the fuck around of existing. And leave the rest of us the fuck alone. Fuck all of y'all who do that shit. We're going to take a commercial break because I need it. You need it, and we all need it after that. We do have more tour for you, including a video to supplement that great CNN article. And then when we come back, we got Crew Curvin, which is another destination related to that, but it's its own destination. We'll talk about that. Spirit Airlines, Dr. Erica Schwartz, you, me, and Tuscany, Cleveland, David, and Ashley Janae. We have a lot more tour to go. We're live on tour. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back right after this moment.
Lights go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Braylon got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn it up, lean back, feel the breeze. Late night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines flip with a soulful twist. Behind the scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show you. Breaking it down. story's so clear. The pulse of us, it's all right here. We got soul, we got flavor. Every moment is a savior. Every experience is an overcomer. Turn it up, feel the glow, let the rhythm flow. Spotlight shining, we in the zone. This is the place where the culture's grown. Stories untold, now they're coming alive. Braylon Lee got the vibe tonight. One thing to know and two things for sure. Higher is waiting and lower is available. But either way, we gotta go on tour. It's Braylon Lee's virtual tour, where the culture makes its move. Feel the love, feel the truth. This is us, this is you. From the unknown, the unembraced and more. This show, this brand and the possibilities of what can be is all here for you. I'm just a kid from the rock, trying to be a rock for people, trying to make it best they can to become. Being moved as a creator of power to lift up all of us, not just a selective few. For the culture, by the culture, here we be. Braylon Lee, bringing life to your screen. Feel the soul, feel the truth. We're free, trust and believe. It's entertainment, news done away with. Braylon Lee, spotlight sharp like a diamond shine. We see the stars, but the story's alive. Deep in the soul where the heartbeats find. The pulse of the people redefining time. Just a pro tip, people have to earn the right to hear your story, but in addition to that, people have to earn the responsibility to be a part of it. Just because we are not seen by everybody doesn't mean we are not been seen by who needs to see us. Noise equals attention and sound equals purpose. Anybody can be a creator, but it takes a somebody to be an artist.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward,
with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements. Today, we celebrate another thrilling moment, the creation of a spectacular new Disney theme park resort coming to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is a place where heritage meets innovation, a place where we preserve our past while designing the future.
Bringing a Disney theme park resort to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, marks a historic milestone in our journey as a global family destination.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination represents a new frontier in theme park ambitions. Our resort in Abu Dhabi will be the most advanced and interactive destination in our entire portfolio. The location of our park is incredibly unique. It's anchored by a beautiful waterfront, which will allow us to tell our stories in completely new ways. Ultimately, this project will be a celebration of what's possible when creativity and progress come together.
What we are creating with Disney in Abu Dhabi is a whole new world of imagination, an experience that will inspire generations across the region and the world.
This collaboration represents a powerful fusion of Disney's unmatched legacy in storytelling and Miral's commitment to bringing world-class entertainment to our guests.
Abu Dhabi's vision for the future is to create a legacy for generations to come.
Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati. An oasis of extraordinary Disney entertainment at this crossroads of the world. It will bring to life our timeless characters and stories in many new ways, becoming a source of joy and inspiration for the people of this vast region to enjoy for generations to come.
I got a question for you. What does this city know about luxury? Huh? What does a town that's been to hell and back know about the finer things in life? Well, I'll tell you, more than most. You see, it's the hottest fires that make the hardest steel. Add hard work and conviction, and the know-how that runs generations deep in every last one of us. That's who we are. That's our story. Now, it's probably not the one you've been reading in papers, the one being written by folks who've never even been here and don't know what we're capable of. Because when it comes to luxury, it's as much about where it's from as who it's for. Now, we're from America, but this isn't New York City, or the Windy City, or Sin City, and we're certainly no one's Emerald City.
This is the Motor City, and this is what we do.
Dear Founding Fathers, first of all, about that more perfect union thing, we're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. So let's see, what would you be most interested to know about us? Well, the British didn't turn out. Dear Founding Fathers, first of all, about that more perfect union thing, we're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. So let's see, what would you be most interested to know about us? Well, the British didn't turn out to be a big issue. The French did for a while, but we're all cool now. Let's talk about democracy, our republic. We became a great nation, and while imperfect, we've done some great things. 2 American brothers figured out how to fly, and we haven't stopped since. D-Day was incredible. A victory for democracy, defeat for tyranny. And who did we fight alongside? The British. In the summer of 1969, we landed on the moon. We did that a couple of times. George Washington turned out to be the most popular among all of you. He's on our money. He's got his own monument. A bridge was named after him. So was the center of our government. That's where our Congress sits. We spell it, by the way, with 2 S's now. But here in what you named the United States, we are not united. In fact, we have 50 states now, and tonight on election night, we will mark them red or blue to show which candidate has won enough votes to win each state. You never got to see the country we became or how big we got. We've got 350 million people now. You didn't see women as equal members of society. Tonight, a woman is on the ballot for president for the 2nd time. You left us to fight a civil war to abolish something most of you practiced, the enslavement of human beings. And in all the years since, we the people have taken on the push for equality, and it's still a struggle every day. If I'm being honest, there still is not a lot that unites us. There was a day this past spring when the sun went away just briefly. People wept, they cheered at the sight of it, they got engaged, they got married, but mostly they were there united in their amazement. Tonight is a messy one for us. It's election night. We pick a new president between a former president and the current vice president. Last time we did this, it was far from the peaceful process you envisioned. No one ever said striving to be a more perfect union would be easy. Whatever happens tonight, we'll have a republic tomorrow and the next day, but please, Founding Fathers, please grant us the wisdom and the strength to get through this and work this out. This is our home. I've spent all my life calling this the greatest nation on earth. Thank you for all that you did. I know you left us believing you'd done the best you could. We'll take it from here. And look at the time. Our election night starts right now.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving y'all right back. Welcome back in to Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. We are live on tour. You know, usually I play about 4 commercials and then we come back live on tour. But I wanted to play that Brian Williams intro that he did on that fated election night because we needed a mental palate cleanser. I think about that last line he said, I know you gave us the best you could, and thank you for what you did. We'll take it from here. We still got a long way to go. Thank God that we have good people like those journalists and organizations like CNN and good people like the rest of us that's trying to stand up to move out the way any and every obstacle so we can get to that other side of victory. All right, let's continue, everybody. We do have more Braylon's Virtual Tour Live coming up right from this space right here, right now. Here is a video to complement that in-depth, deep in the breadth of that CNN article here. Here we go.
now, we are halfway through Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and tragically, there have been several headlines in just the last few days that really remind all of us of how...
All right, here we go again, y'all. Sorry about that.
Right now, we are halfway through Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and tragically, there have been several headlines in just the last few days that really remind all of us of how prevalent this issue is, particularly when it comes to violence against women. Tonight, we're going to talk about several news stories over the last 7 days that might be really hard to hear, including a U.S. congressman's alleged sexual assaults of multiple women, a renewed discussion over consent, a former lieutenant governor taking the lives of his wife and his own, and a bombshell investigation by CNN exposing a worldwide ring of men who systemically target and abuse their own wives. And that investigation is the main reason we're talking about all of this tonight. My executive producer, Dylan Dahlberg, and I spoke about this at length. And even though this is going to be extremely disturbing and hard to talk about, tough for a lot of people to hear, it's an important story that really needs to be talked about. Millions of men from all over the world collaborating on ways to drug and abuse the people they swore vows to love and protect, and teaching each other how to do it. The fallout from this investigation spreading like wildfire on social media. So here to unpack some of this for us is Dr. Tracy Stulberg, a marriage and family therapist who has a lot of experience dealing with tragedies, just like the ones we're talking about tonight. Before we get into it, though, we thought it might be a little bit helpful to take this by the numbers and break down the hard truth behind the topic. Take a look at this. First, in just this last month, there were 82 million visits to that online Rape Academy website. So hard to even say those words, which we're going to talk about in just a second here. Meantime, across the U.S., between 10 to 14% of married women are raped by their partners. And in 17 states, a spouse cannot be convicted of raping a partner who is unconscious, drugged, or otherwise incapacitated, all because of outdated laws still in the books. In the meantime, according to a survey conducted by the National Resource Center on Domestic Violence, 50% of male college students believe it is impossible for a man to rape his wife, and 34% said they would rape someone if they knew they could get away with it. Now, you may have heard people say, not all men, which is shorthand for not all men are responsible for hurting women. Well, when you have statistics as shockingly high as the ones we just mentioned, it's not surprising that you're seeing more and more people say it's all men until it's none of them, meaning until women can be sure they don't need to worry about being harmed, it's better to be safe than sorry. And so we thank you so much for joining us here today, Doctor, to unpack some of this.
Well, thank you for having me.
I know it was quite disturbing for you to even hear about this, but anyone who spends time online or in the news talking and listening about how to protect people during this important month would have heard about this Rape Academy. This is a really disturbing thing. Men telling other men how to hurt their own spouses. Unpack that for us for a moment.
Well, I was quite shocked. I mean, I thought I couldn't be more surprised since I work with survivors and offenders and members dealing with many of these issues. But there was some kind of idea that this is okay. And it's not just the person who created this website, who maybe created it because they might make money, but they're also
money, yeah.
But you're right. They have some serious mental health issues that obviously other people that are part of this website have as well. When I heard the numbers of people that had visited this, I thought, oh my goodness. I was trying to think, well, how many does that mean in a day? Or how many does that mean in a year? Where are these people coming from? And what's going to happen when these women get told that they were videotaped by the person who vowed to love, honor, respect them?
And so we take for a moment that supposed academy away for a second and talk about the underlying issue with spousal rape that people don't even consider. In fact, some of the stats that we talked about indicated the way some young men are growing up thinking what is and isn't acceptable. Consent can be given, consent can be taken away as well. Talk about that for a moment.
So, consent, first of all, if you're going to give consent, it can't be obliterated by alcohol or drugs. You can't be sleeping. You need to be verbally able to give consent. And if any time during a sex act either things get dicey or you're not wanting, you can take away consent, but it has to be respected. And we have plenty of people who say, well, no. I mean, if someone told me yes, because I checked and they said, yeah, I'll have sex with you, but then they wanted to stop, no, that you can't do that. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And we're trying to teach our younger people this, but according to whatever survey that was, a lot of people don't get it. And it's not just them. I work with women that for years did not report to anyone, even family members, that they were being raped by their spouse because they weren't sure if it was rape.
Well, and the myth here is that because you have a wedding ring on your hand and that you've made a vow with this person, they made a vow to you, that somehow that ensures some kind of a forever bond to be able to do whatever the heck you want. And you're saying, quite to the contrary, as someone who deals with victims all the time, that's just not true.
No.
You don't have right or an access to sex anytime you want.
No, it's not a get sex free card. You have to get consent. And to think that we've raised our women in some ways to not know that difference also is very sad. We've had some that say, well, we didn't physically fight anymore, but he made me have sex with him. And you said, well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. He said, let's have sex. We're going to have sex. And I said, okay. So the message then is that I don't even know if I can say, no, I will not have sex with you, or I don't want to have sex with you and have it be respected.
Let's talk about this Congressman Swalwell and the issue that we're seeing here. These are just allegations right now. However, so many of the folks who are on the side, I guess Swalwell and his attorneys would say there was consent. Unpack that for us. How important is it for us to make the differentiation between what true consent really is in a case like this?
Well, if you are deciding to have sex with someone, there are plenty of issues, especially with this, that you have to take a look at. One, does he have control over your work? Is this somebody who you report to?
So as rank or power, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you take a look at plenty of these cases that come up, some of these women felt like they were forced. Some of these women with this particular case, one in particular said she was willing to have sex. But what she wasn't willing to do is go to a bar, think that they're just going to have a drink, and then not remember anything and wake up.
And then we have another case, obviously, in the news on this really important month to talk about stopping violence against women. And this one was the murder-suicide that we just reported up on today with that high-level former lieutenant governor and his wife. This is obviously a very tragic turn of events, but one that we see all too often.
I think you're right. And I believe that there was a restraining order as well because there had been violence in this family. My heart breaks. Those kids were in the house.
Right.
What had to have been going through his mind to decide he was going to kill this person and then kill himself because he's too much of a coward to.
Sure.
A piece of
it's a very sad case, and that one, of course, is one that continues to haunt so many people. But the most dangerous time for so many people is when they're planning on leaving a marriage, as you've reported to us before, and we know so many therapists have talked about. Look, the bottom line is all of us have a responsibility to call out bad behavior and terrible behavior and abhorrent behavioral. And that's hopefully what we're beginning as we start the conversation at this table. It continues in the important places in your home where that can then continue as well. Dr. Tracy Stolberg, it's so good to see you. Thanks for being with us on a tough assignment for you to talk about and unpack a topic that is certainly very hard. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. If you or someone you know is in need of help, advice, or resources, you can call the National Sexual Assault Hotline, which is run by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. The phone number is 1-800-656-HOPE, or you can find more information on our website, at their website rather, online, RAINN.org. There will be someone there to take your call 24/7. And remember, you are never alone.
So if you're looking for the rest of the show, just go to that timestamp there. All right, everybody, let's continue. We do have more Brainley's Virtual Tour Live coming up right from the space right here and right now. Let's get to it. From the New York Post, everybody, as y'all know,